So what are we talking about today? If you already have doors or Rational Team Concert are looking at adding those to your capabilities, once you have Rational Team Concert and doors, what can we do to connect those two together, and what are the capabilities that we have? Well, the first one we want to be able to do, the kind of the out-of-the-box capabilities, is we're now able to link your requirements in doors or any of your objects and associate those to work items in RTC. This gives us relationships between your requirements and your work items that are done either by development, testing, release, any of those things, that any of the work done stream of your requirements people. We'll also be able to report on those requirements. If you're a requirements person, you can look at the work that's being done to see where your requirements are from an implementation point of view. Things that are missing, we can easily do gap coverage, and we can easily trace those through views and doors all the way down to things like the change artifacts. What are the actual code level changes that are done, or what are the tests that are done, or what releases they go on into. That's sort of the scenario one. Scenario two is formal change management. This is really, these are two separate pieces. You don't have to implement them both at the same time. But for people that need a more rigorous control over the changing of the requirements, there are ways to do that natively indoors. But if you want to use a more formalized change management, such as RTC or ClearQuest or Rational Change, you can use those tools, and today we'll be using Rational Team Concert to do module control under formal change management, and we'll go through that a little bit and understand how that actually does work during the presentation. So who uses these things when they're done? Now, typically your doors environment, this is really the realm of your requirements engineers. They sit there, they do the requirements, and then they do something where they hand those off or they let people be able to see, but really there isn't much linkage that's outside of doors to your other objects. Well, because we're allowed to be able to now link down to lower level objects in your development lifecycle, we can now see those directly from the doors interface. What kind of work items have been spawned off of your requirements? What are they done? What are they in progress? Are they completed? Are they state? Other areas that we see are like the change review boards for being able to review requirements, view the work in progress, be able to do this all live in real time, so that as we're doing our change review boards, we can action items live during those particular meetings. And then, of course, your developers being able to do work, and once you're assigned work as a developer, being able to understand the context of your work, being able to navigate from your Eclipse client or your RTC clients or Rhapsody and be able to easily navigate back up to the requirement driving while you're doing some work. And then all the way down to the release and the project manager being able to get things like statuses. So the backbone for all of this integration is the OSLC, or Open Services for Lifecycle Collaboration. This is really the trend in the industry, mostly sponsored by IBM, to get data to be able to talk nicely to each other. So an underlying layer allows us to reference data more than it allows us to make repositories of data, which is typically the way integrations used to work before, which is very brittle. If one product changes, you then have a problem. If the second product changes, you have a problem. Today's method is a little